RTO here. Welcome to another week on RTO, and we start this week with a viewer's request for Captain Beefheart and his magic band. I'm going to be quite honest here. I am not the best fan of Captain Beefheart. I like one or two of his albums, and that's about it. I don't even own any as such. Most of mine are, shall we say, acquired recordings, but now I've now got rid of them because I stream them if I want to listen to them on Spotify. So I have listened to them all because they are all there. So this was an interesting one for me. Like me challenges, again, this has been a big challenge for me. So Captain Beefheart then, his real name is Don Van Vliet. He was born Don Glenn Vliet in 1941 and sadly died on 17th of December 2010. He was an American singer-songwriter, multi-instrumentalist and visual artist. 13 albums, some of them with the Magic Band, some not. And his style was elements of blues, free jazz, rock, avant-garde compositions with idiosyncratic rhythms, absurd wordplay, yes, definitely that, a loud gravelly voice, and his claimed wide vocal range. Yeah, I'll give him his due. He could hit the notes, but as an artist, for me, he was one of the ones that I don't really go to, I'm afraid. So we'll have a look at the 13 albums. So coming in at number 13, we got a third album, and it's a double album released in 1969 called Trout Replica. It's got the Magic Band on here. So we've got Captain Beefheart on lead backing vocals and saxophones, clarinets, horns, jingle bells. John French on drums, Jeff Cotton guitars, Bill Harkerud guitar, Martin Boston bass guitar, Victor Hayden bass clarinet. First track on this one is called Frown Land. This is a very short cut. The guitars are just up on some jolly, I don't know what's going on, to be quite honest. I just found it very, very absurd. I do love the titles of some of these tracks though. The dust blows forward and the dust blows back. I don't know what this is. I couldn't get my head around it, to be all honest, on that one. Then we got Dacha Blues. Now he sounds like Billy Gibbons with a really bad cold. It's all right. Ella Guru, I don't like this at all. The bass line's all right, but the rest of it is pretty shocking, and I just couldn't get into it. Then we get Hair Pie Bait 1. This is an instrumental. The violin on here sounds like it's someone that's just starting to learn the violin. I couldn't listen to it more than, it's 5 minutes long, and I listened to 2 minutes of it, and that was enough. I couldn't listen to that violin anymore. Moonlight on Vermont. I'm struggling here. I really am struggling. I've got no idea what that song's about. The makeup of the song is just bizarre. There's one way of describing that one. Pacho Cadaver. Interesting drums and bass on this. It's alright. Bill's Corpse. I'm afraid that the vocal just grates on me. It's not for me at all. Sweet Sweet Balls. This one, I don't think they're playing off the same hymn sheet here. I really don't. They're all over the place. You know, there's nothing on this that makes you want to listen to it. Neon Meat, Dream of an Octofish. Again, it's just... I don't know. There's no way I can describe it. It's just a noise to me. Okay, there's a lot of you out there that really like Captain Beefheart, and I get that, but it's not for Iain, I don't think, especially this album. China Pig. It's a bit bluesy, but not very recorded very well. But I do like the bluesy guitar in it. My Human Gets Blues. I think the vocals are flat as pancake. The guitarist again is just off into some other dimension. And the drums, well, he's just banging the drums willy-nilly here. I don't find anything on there outstanding. Darley's Car, nah, couldn't cope with that either. Then we get Hair Pie Bake 2. This is alright, it's got some weird instruments in it, but it's actually a tune that you can sort of get along with. Penna, this album just gets worse and worse for me. I don't like that track. I put up with about a minute of it before I switched it off. Then we got Well. When he's sitting there on his own, just keeping it simple, I think Captain Beefheart is a very good singer, and it's not too bad, that one isn't. When Big Jones Sets Up, a waste of 5 minutes of vinyl. I did not listen to this much. Falling Ditch, I'm struggling again. Sugar and Spikes, one track I don't mind, it's alright. Mambo, it sounded alright, and then it just went off into one I had to switch it off. Orange Clawhammer. I don't know what the band's on here, but they're on something, because it's just noise. Wildlife again, I just really struggled with this. She's too much for my mirror. It's one of the better tracks on the album. It's actually got a bit of a tune. Hobo Changba. I can't listen to that. Within a few seconds of it, oh no, I can't go on. The Blimp. Again, totally. 15. It sounds like 15 musicians just doing their own thing. There's no coherence on that. Steal Softly Through the Snow. Again, I struggled with that. Old Fart at Play. Load of rubbish. I'm sorry. And Veterans Poppy Day. The guitar sounds alright on this. Okay. This is the one and only time that I have listened to this album, and in all honesty, I don't think I'll ever want to listen to it again. I couldn't find anything on here worth listening to again. You know, it's not very often I come across albums like this, but this to me is probably one of the worst double albums I have ever heard. This is in my opinion, of course. You know, if you like it, fair play to you, but it's not for me, so I can't even give this a rating. It's going to get a big fat 0 because I just didn't connect with anything on it, and I just found it very irritating. Okay then, coming in at number 12, we have the 13th and final album. Now, this is a posthumous album. It was released in 2012, but it was actually recorded in 1976, and it's called Bat Chain Puller. There was a bit of friction between Discreet co-founders Herb Cohen and Frank Zappa. Apparently this album was made on Frank Zappa's money, and there were royalty checks, and Zappa withheld the master tapes. So Captain Beefheart recorded a new album, which we'll be looking at in a bit. And finally they sort of, I don't know what happened, but they finally got it out. So on here we've got Captain Beefheart, John French, Denny Wally on guitars, Jeff Tepper guitars, John Thomas pianos. There's some tracks on here that will appear on the other album, so I'll only go through the tracks that didn't appear. So you got Back Chain Puller, we'll talk about that in a bit. The next one is Seam Crook Sam. Again, I just don't like this. It's just weird. I'm not really keen on spoken word on albums unless it's something meaningful. It's just not very good. Then we've got Harry Irene, we'll talk about that later. 18 Pooch Hatch, that's off another album, we'll talk about that later. Flavour Blood, Britbacks and Floppy Stomp, they're all off other albums that we'll talk about. Same with Chariot, Own Tex Alex as well. Then we got Odd Jobs. It's one of these bit of music and then a poem, and it doesn't do anything for me. And then you got the Human Totem Pole, which is on another album, and then Apes Mart again. This is more like a greatest hits album, if you can call it a greatest hits album. It's not very good at all. Although I did like the poem Odd Jobs, I thought the poem itself was good, but the music behind it, that's why I'm not bothered. So I'm going to give this a 0.5 because I just couldn't. It's a weird album. Okay, then coming in at number 11, we have the fifth album, released in 1971. And Mirror Man. Again, this contains material that was recorded for the label in 1967, and there was for an album that never come out called It Comes to You in a Plain Brown Wrapper. So they used sort of the sort of stuff. Some of the stuff ended up on another album, Strictly Personal. So on here we've got Captain Beefheart on vocals, harmonica and oboe, Alex St. Clair Schufler on guitar, Jerry Handley on bass, John French drums, John Colt guitars, and Mark Marcelinho on keyboards. First track on here is a track called Trout Playing. Now this is a very long piece. It's 19 minutes. It's a little bit too long, but it's pretty good as a jam blues. But all of a sudden, what spoils it is this annoying saxophone. It's so shrieky, you want to blow it up. It's not. It spoils it. But most of it is pretty good. It's a nice blues jam. 25th Century Quaker. Again, quite a good bluesy little song, but the saxophone on it, it's high pitched and doesn't fit in. And now I love saxophone, but I didn't like it on here. Apart from that, the track's reasonably good. Mirror Man, nothing inspirational on that at all. Candy Horn, yeah, it's all right, I suppose. Trust Us Take 6, just found it a little bit bizarre, but it's starting to sound like music, I'll give it that. Beetle Bones and Smoking Stones, not a great fan of that one. And then we've got Moody Liz, don't mind that one. It's starting to sound like a song. And the one I really like on here is Gimme That Heart Boy. It's a bit of a jazzy thing. Everyone's sort of doing their own thing, but it sort of works. Yeah, a little bit of a mixed bag again here. It's got some tracks that I've listened to, like Candy Corn and that, but I'm not very keen on them. So I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 1 out of 10. I'm sorry these are low marks, but these albums I just really struggle with. Coming in at number 10 then. We've got the 4th album, released in 1917. It's called Lick My Decals Off, Baby. Captain Beefheart as ever on the vocals, Zoot, horn, Rollo, electric guitars, Rocket Morton bass, Drumbo on the drums, and Ed Marimba on the remember. The title track, Lick My Decals Off, Baby. All I can say about this, the drummer is playing at about 500 miles an hour and the rest of the band are trying to catch up. It's an interesting vocal because it's not singing, it's mumbling, and he sort of sounds drunk. He may have been drunk. Dr. Dark, it just sounds like a bunch of kids being thrown in a studio and said, okay lads and lasses, go and have a bit of fun. Yeah. I Love You, You Big Dummy. Great title. The guitars and drums are pretty good on this, and the rest of it's all over the shop. Then we got Peon, which is an instrumental. This one they all seem to be playing in different time zones because bits coming in. Well, where's that come from? Then we get Bella in Pain. This isn't too bad. It's quite a nice track. Even the vocals are pretty good. I quite like that. Worries, I'm going to get this right. Worries Ermy Bop. It's one of the better tracks on here, and I quite like that one. It actually does sound like a proper track. Japan in Dishpan. It's okay, but get rid of the clarinet or sax. I can't quite make out, but the rest of the track is pretty good. Then we get I Find a Woman That I'll Hold My Big Toe Till I Have to Go. Yeah. Bizarre. Totally bizarre, and I couldn't get into it. Petrified Forest. I can't really get my head round this type of singing. And the band, you know, it's all right, you know, doing something different for me, but the band's playing something else, and the vocal doesn't fit with it. It really irritates. Okay, the next track is called One Red Rose That I Mean. It's a short instrumental, but it's the best thing on here. The guitar work on this is really good. It's a sort of an acoustic sound. It's really good. Really enjoy that one. The Buggy Boogie Woogie. Love the tune. Hate the vocal on it. The Smithsonian Institute Blues, or the Big Dig. 1 minute of this, and I couldn't listen to any more. It's 2 minutes long, but 1 minute was enough for me. Space Age Couple. I really struggle again. There's just nothing coherent on this. Everyone is doing their own thing. Then we get a track called The Clouds Are Full of Wine, Not Whiskey or Rye. It's one of those tracks that actually sounds a little coherent, and I did listen to it all the way through. Flash Gordon's 8. The saxophone is just so irritating, and you know, as I've said, I love saxophones on albums, but this is just a load of noise. Again, I just couldn't get my head round this album. I really struggled. I think I listened to about 3 tracks all the way through. I've listened to this album a couple of more times than the rest, and again, I don't want to listen to this one ever again. So I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 1.5. Okay, then coming at number 9, we have the 10th album. Now, this is the one that they had to go and make because of Zappa, and it's called Shiny Beast, and then Back Chain Puller. in brackets. Released in 1978. It's Captain Beefheart on the vocals, harmonica, and anything else he can play. I'll give him his due. He's quite a talented musician to play all these instruments. Then we got Bruce Lamborn Flower on trombone, Jeff Morris Tepper on the slide guitar, Eric Drew Feldman on synthesizers, Robert Arthur Williams on drums, Richard Reedus on the slide guitar. First track on here is called The Floppy Boot Stomp. I don't mind this. I like this. This is quite good. It's a little bit of fun and it actually all works. I like that. Tropical Hot Dog Night. The horns spoil it, and I love horns. It's just the horns don't sound right. Then we got Ice Road, sorry. I like this. It's got some really good guitar working, and it sounds quite proggy, and I don't mind that. Then we get Harry Irene. I like this song again. It's a nice sort of jazzy song, and I think Captain Beefheart's vocal is pretty good on that. It's a really good track. You Know You're a Man. Oh, it's okay. It's pretty good. Solid track. It really is starting to sound like a band that are really on the same page. Then we get the title track, Bat Chain Puller. One of these weird tracks, all doing their own thing. Not my favourite on the album. When I See Mummy, I Feel Like a Mummy. What a bizarre total. But I love the guitars at the beginning. And then it went downhill. Which is a shame. Ode to Alex. I don't mind this one. Really good vocal from Captain Beefheart. I can listen to that one. Then we got Candle Mambo. I like the arrangement, but the vocal is pretty ghastly. Love Lies. This one isn't actually too bad. As I said, everyone seems to be on the same page for some of these tracks. It's a bluesy sort of thing, and I really like that. Suction Prince. I love the guitar work at the beginning. Really good. And then it goes off into some weird and wonderful tangent. Apesma. What the hell's this? What drugs are they on? Bizarre. Okay, this album I really did mind listening to it. It's got the usual weirdness on it, but there are some really stronger songs on this. So I'll give this one an RTO ranking of 2 out of 10. Okay, then coming in at number 8, we go to 1982 now. And this was the last proper album from Captain Beefheart before he abruptly retired from music to become a painter. And it's called Ice Cream for Crow. So we've got Captain Beefheart on here, Jeff Morris Tepper, Richard Snyder on the bass, Gary Lucas on slide guitar and guitars, and Cliff R. Martinez on the drums. The title track is called Ice Cream for Crow. We have a lot of good guitar on this, but I don't care much for the vocal again. The host of the Ghost of the Most Holy O. This is a unique and bizarre track. I couldn't get on with that at all. Semi-multicoloured Caucasian. This is one of the instrumental type tracks, and it's pretty good. I like that track. I don't mind that one at all. Then we get Hi Garland, I Dig Your Tweed Coat. It's just not my cup of tea. There's nothing on that track that I really like. Then we get Evening Bell. This is a short guitar piece, and I really like it. Nice guitar work there. Cardboard Cutout Sundown. That's another track that I couldn't get all the way through, I'm afraid. The Past is Sure Tense. It starts well with some really nice riffs, and then it goes off into something. If they had continued on with them riffs, it would have been okay, but it spoilt it, went off and did something else. Ink Mathematics, what can I say? I'm just lost for words on that. There's no words that I can describe that. I'm not even going to try. The Witch Doctor I actually like this one. This is quite amusing. I like the lyric. It's quite funny. 81 Poop Hatch. More waffling. There's some bizarre speech from Captain Beefheart, which is... I'll give him his due. He can write some weird stuff, but wow. And then we get the 1010th day of the human totem pole. More irritating saxophone. I think the saxophone should be shoved somewhere where the sun doesn't shine on this, because it's that bad. Give me Mel Collins any day of the week. Skeleton makes good, just lots of noises. Again, it's got some highlights, but I did really struggle with it again. But I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking a 3 out of 10 because it's actually coming up to sounding like an album. Okay, then coming in at number 7. I think I'll have a cup of coffee before we carry on. Yeah, so coming up at number 7, we have the second album, released in 1968. It's called Strictly Personal. So this one, it's actually credited to Don Van Vliet on vocals and harmonies, Alex St. Clair on guitar, Jeff Cotton on guitar, Jerry Handley bass, and John French drums. First track on here is called Feel Like Acid. This is alright though. It's quite bluegrass, and I don't mind that one. Then we have Safe as Milk. It's not too bad musically, but the vocals a little bit off kilter, but it's listenable. Give it that. Trust Us. This is very progressive. Really good track. I like listening to that one. It does fit in with the weirdness of early prog. Son of Mirror Man. This is weird as hell. Good bass line though. Then the next track is called Ontamara. It's okay. Really good rhythm, but the guitar sounds a bit out of tune. Then we get Beatles, Bones and Smoking. It's got a bit of backwards playing on it and forward singing. It's interesting. Gimme That Heart Boy. There's another track that I liked that was on that other album. It's alright. Like Candy Corn, it's not too bad. I've heard worse. It's not too bad, this album. I'll give it its due, and I think from now on I sort of don't mind the albums, and I'll give this one an RTO ranking of 5.5. Okay, then coming in at number 6, we go to the 11th album, released in 1980, called Doc at the Radar Station. On here we got Captain Beefheart on everything. John French on guitars, Jeff Morris Tepper on the slide guitar, Eric Drew Feldman on synthesizers, and Robert Arthur Williams on the drums. Hothead. I like this track. It is really good. Got a good vocal here from Captain Beefheart, some nice guitar work, really strong song. Ashtray Heart. Like the riffs, hate the singing. Then we got one thing I do like about these albums is some of the titles, and I love this one. A carrot is as close as a rabbit gets to a diamond. Short little ditty, 1 minute 38, but it's really good. Run Paint Run. Oh dear, back to the general noise and that you can't listen to. Sue Egypt, all over the place again. The album was sounding pretty good up to a carrot. Brickbacks, oh dear. Dear, I thought I'll go with returning back to that horrible sound. Then we get Dirty Blue Jean. The guitars are alright, the drumming's pretty good. But then the vocals are a bit ghastly. Best catch yet. This is really good. Shows that they can actually play properly, and it is a really strong track. Telephone, again, not my cup of tea at all. I just couldn't find interesting at all. Flavour Bud Living, just 1 minute of some really good guitar. Great little bit of guitar on that. I do like that little bit. Sheriff of Hong Kong, one of the best tracks on this album. Absolutely really good. The vocals are brilliant from Captain Beefheart. Making Love to a Vampire with a Monkey on My Knee. One of my favourite instruments from the prog years is the mellotron. And I've never heard the mellotron played so badly on this. Okay, not the best way to end the album. There's some actually more tracks on this album that I like than dislike, so we're getting somewhere now. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 6 out of 10. Okay, then coming in at number 5, we have the 7th album, released in 1972. It's called Clear Spot. On here we've got Captain Beefheart on guitars, Bill Halkerode on guitars, Mark Boston guitars, Art Tripp on the drums, and Roy Estrada on bass. Additional people on here, we've got Mick Holland on percussion, Russ Turtleman on guitar, and the Blackberries that's doing the backing vocals. First track on this one is Low Yo Yo Stuff. Pretty good track. Like that one. Then we get Nowadays, A Woman's Gotta Hit a Man. Love the drumming of this. Solid track. Some nice harmonica and guitar on that. Really good track. Touch Too Much Time. Again, a really good track. I love the feel to this. Some good drumming guitar work. Very solid track. Circumstances. Very heavy for Captain Beefheart. Got a really strong riff. The drumming in the middle is a bit weird, but take that up. Doesn't really spoil the track. Pretty solid. My head is the only. It's my head is the only house. Shall I start again? It's just my head is my only house unless it rains. Really country sounding on here. The guitar work is fantastic. Really good track. Sun Zoom Spa. Not keen on this. We've gone back to some of that weird stuff. Captain Beefheart's vocals are really groggy. Then we get the title track, Clear Spot. A nice bluesy rock track with some great harmonica. Terrific track. Crazy Little Thing. Just a bit of great rock and roll. Not too bad at all. Long Neck Bottles. Again, love the bass line and the harmonica. Really work well together on this. Little bits of drums are good. Solid track. Her Eyes Are a Blue Million Miles. Another good track. Bluesy jazz sound, really good. Big Blue Eyed Beans from Venus. Love that. This is one of them tracks. It's got a really good tune, and it's more of a speaking track from Captain Beefheart, but it works. It's a really good track. I do like that one. Then we got Golden Birdies. The bass on this is terrific. Good track. In places. I like this album. Listening to it, it's one of the better ones it's made. I think it's got some great guitar work, and the vocals are pretty good on this. And I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 6.5. Okay then, coming in at number 4, we go to the 6th album released in 1972, The Spotlight Kid. We've got Captain Beefheart on vocals, harmonica and jingle bells, John French on the drums, Bill Harker-Road on guitars, Mark Boston on the bass, Art Trip drums. Additional people on here, we've got Elliot Ingbar on guitar and Reese Clark doing some drumming. First track on this one is called I'm Gonna Boogalerize You Baby. Weird vocal from Captain Beefheart, but the riffs on this are really strong. It's a really good little track, that is. White Jam, no, not for me. Blabber and Smoke, random sort of start this is. It got some sort of glockenspiel on it, but it's not too bad. Actually adds to the track. When It Blows, It Stacks, one of my favourite riffs from a Captain Beefheart song. Really got a really strong riff, and it's a memorable riff as well. Alice in Blunderland, great track. What a guitar solo that has got on it. Really good. The Spotlight Kid, love the bass line on this. This is a jazzy blues number and it's not bad at all. Then we get Click Clack. Love this track. I like the harmonica from Captain Beefheart. He can play the harmonica. Really good. Grow Fins. Start of this, it's all harmonica and it's a great track. There Ain't No Santa Claus on the evening stage. It's very bluesy with Christmas bells. It works. It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun, that track. And the last track, Glider. It's a great blues track. Great guitar solo. Really good track. Solid album. Most of the tracks on here are pretty good. Enjoyed listening to this. I really did. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 7 out of 10. You see, I have... Stick with me and I will say that some of these albums are good. And that is one that I've actually put into my library on Spotify. Okay, then coming in at number 3, we have the debut album, 1967, Safe as Milk. We've got, he goes under the name of Don Van Vliet on this. We've got Alex Sinclair on guitar. Roy Cooder appears on this on guitar. Jerry Handley plays the bass. John French on the drums. We've got Samuel Hoffman on the theremin. Mick Holland does the log drum and tambourine. Taj Mahal's on this playing percussion, and Russ Titleman does a little bit of guitar. First track, Sure Enough and Yes I Do. Love this track. The slide guitar is brilliant. Brilliant stuff. Zig Zagger Wanderer, a nice psychedelic 60s sounding song. Some great guitar work on that one. Call Me, great track again. Again, it's very psychedelic, rocky track. Really good. Dropout Boogie, not the best track on the album. I'm Glad, nice track, love the guitar. The arrangement on this is pretty good as well. Solid stuff. Electricity, the riff in this has got such a catchy hook. And I like the vocal from Captain Beefheart, really strong track. Then we get Yellow Brick Road. It's a track, I don't know if it's more of a country rock pop song, but it's pretty good, catchy tune, like that. Then we get Abba Zaba. Not the best track on the album, I'm afraid. Then we get Plastic Factory. Great little blues number. I love the harmonica on this. It's absolutely brilliant. Where's the Woman? Great track. Bass line's brilliant. Bongos on this is good. The vocal is very good as well. Grown So Ugly. Very Rolling Stones sounding track at the time. Don't mind it at all. Really good. Autumn's Trial. One of the weaker tracks on the album, but still listenable. Excellent album. Why didn't they stick with this sort of sound? Because I think they'd have been a lot better. And then they went off. Then they had that weird period which I never got into. But this I really do like. And again, this is an album I've got in my library. So I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 7.5. Okay, then coming in at number 2, we have the 9th album from 1974, Bluejeans and Moonbeams. We've got Captain Beefheart on vocals and harmonica, Dean Smith on guitar and bottleneck guitar, Michael Smotherman on keyboards, Ty Grimes percussion, got Ira Inbigger on the bass, Bob West on bass as well, Gene Pello does some drumming as well, and Jeremy Caravan does keyboards on Star Machine along with Mark Gibbons. First track, Party of Special Things to Do. Don't mind this track, even that Captain Beefheart's unique vocal sounds good on this. Then we get a JJ Cale song, Same Old Blues. It's a little bit different to his, but it's not a bad version. Then we get Observatory Crest. Very good track. Some nice singing on this, good playing. Really strong track that is. Pompadour Swamp. Again, very solid. There's nothing wrong with that track. It's quite listenable. Then we get Captain's Holiday. Not too bad. Lots of harmonica on this, and I do love the guitar work. Rock and Roll's Evil Door. I don't mind this one. I love this. It's probably one of my favourite tracks by Captain Beefheart. Really good track. Further Than We've Gone. Again, one of my favourites on the album. The guitar work is fantastic. The solo is great. Captain Beefheart sings this great. The piano is just unbelievable. Excellent track. Twist Our Luck. Solid track. I do like the guitar work on this. It's very country, but it's very good. The title track, Bluejeans and Moonbeams. The whole arrangement in this is brilliant, from the strings to the guitar work. A lot of thought went into that, and it's a solid track. Great album. I played this all the way through, and I thoroughly enjoy it, and I have listened to it a couple of times now, and I really do like it. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 7.6. So my number 1 after this long and troublesome journey for me. But this album I think is absolutely fantastic. It's the 8th album released in 1974, and it's called Unconditionally Guaranteed. Got Captain Beefheart on the Alex Sinclair on the guitar, Bill Harker Road on guitars, Mark Boston on the bass, and Art Trip on the drums. First track on here, Upon the My Oh My. Pretty good. Nice bass line to this, really drives the song. The drums sound good, the horns fit in, great solo, and some nice flute pieces. Really strong track. Then we get Sugar Bowl, my favourite track on the album, and probably one of my favourite tracks by Captain Beefheart. It's a nice little rocky track with harmonica, really strong stuff. Fantastic track. New Electric Ride. The guitar work on this is brilliant. From I don't know if it's Bill Harkerwood or Alex Sinclair, but whoever's playing that solo is pretty good. Magic Bee, a little bit of a country sound on this, but it's really good. Happy Love Song. The saxophone actually sounds great on this. Really adds to the track. Love it. Full Moon, Hot Sun. Just a solid rock track. Nothing wrong with this one. I've Got Love on My Mind. Another really good track. I love the fuzzbox sounding solo. Absolutely dynamite. This Is the Day. Really nice song. Captain Beefheart can sing. And it's a really strong track. Lazy Music. Some more brilliant guitar work on this. That's why I love this album. It's got some great guitar work on it. Peaches. Really good guitar work on this. Fantastic stuff. Love this album. Every track on here is good. It's just the rock country blues. This is the best vocal from Captain Beefheart on all the tracks. Very, very strong, and it's some of the best playing from the Magic Band. Awesome, great album. So I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 8 out of 10. Okay, this was a hard one again, but I love the challenges you guys set me. Well out of my comfort zone, but like with most of them, I end up liking a few of their albums, and this one I've actually got on my iPod now because I love it. I just love it. It's a good rock album from that sort of time. So keep setting me these challenges because I do really enjoy doing them. And you know, even though the first few albums on here I just really couldn't cope with. But you know, if we all like the same thing, it'd be pretty boring. And you know, so don't really pounce on me if you don't think, you know, oh, you put that there. But you know, this is how I hear it. And Captain Beefheart will never be one of my top 10 favourite artists of all time. But there's the odd album I like. I mean, the last 4 albums on my list are the ones I really do like. Okay, that's all for this one. I'll be back later with a classic album, and this week we're looking at John Lennon's Double Fantasy, an album that I think only really became big because of what happened. So I'll see you for that for later. Bye for now.